Hello, my friends, and welcome back to my channel. I wanted to come on and do a reading with the Urban Crow Oracle, and Anne was so generous and sent me money to buy the tarot deck made by the same person, MJ Cullinane. So I'm going to be using the Crow Tarot along with this Crow Oracle. So let's get into it. I did set the intention of this being a love reading. But if you resonate with it in a different way, that's fine. Oh, I also wanted to show you one thing that was coming through is I have these 3 crow feathers, and 2 of them I found on the weekend. And I just wanted to mention that because I feel like it's symbolic. I'm hearing the 3 of Swords because usually the feathers, if it's feathers in tarot, it's connected to air. So I was hearing the 3 of Swords, so I wanted to mention it. But yeah, let's get into it. Maybe I'll see if I can put these in here somewhere. Because crows are also 111 on the timer. Crows are also symbolic of protection. So maybe we'll just put, actually, these 2 are thin. So we'll put them like that just so that they're in the frame. And then we'll put this one up here. There we go. Crow feathers. All right. So let's see what you need to hear. With these decks, I am an intuitive reader, so I do read the cards intuitively, but I will also check out the book just in case I'm missing something. So let's get into it, my beautiful friends. We have ghosts. Interesting. You could have lost someone. Sometimes feathers, or not sometimes, but feathers are seen also as, not just crow feathers, but feathers in general are seen as messages from loved ones who have passed on. So you could have loved ones who have passed on or ancestors that are protecting you or sending you messages through feathers. I'd love to show you my feather collection. I have so many feathers. I always pick up feathers. So yeah, we had ghosts, so that could be symbolic, or it could be that someone ghosted you here. Because remember, I brought up the fact that I have 3 feathers here, so it could be that you are in separation. Maybe someone ghosted you. Maybe someone, ghost was the energy of, it was 20, so judgment, I believe it was 20. Where did that go? Anyway, it was the energy of 20, which is judgment, so perhaps someone was unwilling to go within and self-evaluate and reflect and ghosted you instead. We have gifts. So you could be receiving gifts from the universe right now, little signs and synchronicities. And that's funny because that's what I call it when birds leave me feathers. I love birds. And every day I do go out and check to see if there's any feathers outside in my yard. And whenever I find one, that's what I say. I come in and I'm like, look, a bird left me a gift or it left me a present. So you could be someone who picks up little trinkets or finds little objects. Gifts from the universe could also be messages from someone's higher self, I'm hearing. Maybe you're someone, this is a weird download, but maybe you're someone who travels a lot, and whenever you travel, you find little trinkets or little feathers. And we have isolation. So remember, I was hearing separation. So through this separation, through being ghosted, you could be doing a lot of self-evaluation. You could be isolating. With that ghost energy too, that's judgment can be the energy of an awakening. And I always, hello, Mr. Crow. I always say that when you awaken, you know, you're kind of put into spiritual isolation. People kind of fall out of your life as you awaken and change. you know, anytime you change your vibration or elevate, that's going to happen. You're going to outgrow people energetically. And maybe it happened with this person because, like I said, I did set the intention that this was a love reading. With this card, I'm getting that you have a team of spirit guides behind you. They could be animals, pets that you've lost. They could be ancestors, some that you've never met. I'm hearing grandparent. All right, so let's see what we need to hear today. We're just going to leave it open to spirit. I don't take reversals in this deck. We have waterproof and distance. For some reason, I'm hearing the song Bulletproof, which is... now I need to look it up. For some reason, instantly, when I saw distance and saw waterproof, I was hearing bulletproof. Which, let me just look up. I'm being told by my guides to look up the lyrics. I can hear it in my head, but I can't make out the lyrics. By LaRue. Interesting. So the lyrics in this song, again, I know it says waterproof, but instantly I started hearing the song Bulletproof. And it says, been there, done that, messed around. I'm having fun. Don't put me down. I'll never let you sweep me off my feet. I won't let you in again. The messages I've tried to send, my information is just not going in. This time I'll be bulletproof. I won't let you turn around and tell me now I'm much too proud to walk away from something when it's dead. And it also talks about coming out to play when you are hurt. So very specific message that I'm getting with this song is that you could have been in a situation where something was not working. There was some sort of pain, 3 of Swords, and maybe you weren't walking away. Maybe you were accepting less than you deserved. Maybe you were afraid to put up boundaries. And perhaps you're being protected by your guides. And this person was energetically removed from your life. And now I feel with this waterproof, nothing this person does can bring you back down because you've elevated. Remember, I was talking about elevating your vibration or your frequency. And it feels like I'm hearing the term water off a duck's back. So this could have been someone who used to say hurtful words to you or judged you in some way. And maybe now, through distance and separation and through awakening and raising your vibration, there's nothing that this person can do to bring you back down to that level. And that line about walking away from something when it's dead, like I said, perhaps you were holding on to something, or perhaps something was falling apart, but you were too afraid to walk away from it. So I feel like whatever energy you're in, I'm not sure if we actually had communication on the bottom in the very beginning. You know, there was a line in that song that said, I won't let you sweep me off my feet. So it feels like whoever this is you're connected to, you could be in the energy of, I never want to see them again. I'm done with them, moving on. But for some of you, I feel like it's more about your standards have improved, and you know that if this person communicates from a wounded place, you're waterproof to that. Like it'll be like water off a duck's back or water off a crow's back. And you'll never allow this person or anyone to bring back that unhealed version of you, or you'll never lower your your standards again. You've been there, done that. You will no longer be lowering your standards. And I feel like through the distance, that is something that you've learned. You have a new perspective. This is temperance energy. And temperance energy, it's interesting because I was looking at the Crow Tarot box and I noticed on the bottom, anyway, on the back of the deck box, temperance is there. And I was thinking about that. And we have 6 of Pentacles here. So it feels like maybe there was an energetic imbalance, or maybe you were giving to a situation that wasn't giving back to you. And through the distance, you now have a new perspective about this. And I feel like you've come out the other end stronger. Yeah, we have perspective here. This is really giving me Hanged Man energy, because Hanged Man energy is about new perspectives. And we see this bird hanging upside down. So it's like whatever this situation is, through the separation, through the distance, you're seeing a new perspective of it. And like I said, I don't know if, I feel like if you were called to listen to this reading, there is part of you that would hear this person out, especially if they came in right. But I just feel like looking back, you're seeing that you deserved more, is what I'm hearing. All right, so I'm actually going to look at waterproof. That might not have anything to do with it, but like I said, I'm an intuitive reader and I get these downloads, and that's what I usually go by. So let me just look at waterproof. Yeah, it talks about how crows have a greasy protective coating that prevents water from getting through the skin. You too have the ability to create a waterproof exterior. When we are waterproof, we are protected from others' draining emotions that can weigh us down. Being waterproof allows you to experience a storm without letting it hold you back. When we are waterproof, the words, actions, and emotions of those around us do not impact our perception of who we are and our self-worth. Exactly. What did I say? I said, your words will never bring me down, or something like that. I'll never allow, well, I'm talking about you, but you'll never allow this person to get through to you again and hurt you in that way, and let their words or judgments affect your self-worth. Your standards are high, is what I'm hearing. Casual insults, snarky comments, and emotional vampires don't bother someone who's waterproof. So it's like you could have been dealing with someone who really was at a lower frequency, lower vibrational energy, and was draining your energy. And remember that line about walking away from something when it's dead. This could have drained you, but still you held on. But now you're getting a different perspective. This could have had an emotional toll on you. So this card is asking you to create a barrier between the feelings of others and yourself when inner strength is needed. So no longer taking on the opinions of others, no longer letting someone project their shadows onto you or drain your energy. I like it. I like it. All right, so that's where we're starting. You could have been dealing with a runner. All right, so let's see. The crows are outside. Yay, Mr. Crow. Let's see the first card that we need to look at, other than those ones. What do we need to know, Spirit? All right, we have distraction. So you could have been dealing with someone who was distracted. We have upheaval, a tower moment. So remember the line from that song that I was hearing. I'll no longer hold on to something that's, not working. And this is tower energy. Upheaval. So it feels like there was some sort of tower moment or separation between you and this person. And it's interesting because I talked about divine intervention. I talked about how you could have been holding on to it, even though you were accepting less than you deserved. And what happens when we're in a situation like that is the universe will send us signs, little red flags that things aren't working. We'll start to feel that tower shake and become unstable. And we have the choice. We can climb out of the tower and get to safety, or if we don't climb out of the tower and we hold on to something when it's crumbling, divine intervention will get thrown out of that tower by, I'm hearing Archangel Michael, protection. And I think it's interesting how I put all these feathers like this and talked about protection. So clearly there was a tower moment here. We also have scavenge, which is about accepting less than you deserve. It's accepting like crumbs. So you could have been accepting, I'm hearing like, you know, the expression bottom of the barrel, scraping the bottom of the barrel. So you could have been accepting so little from this connection. I'm hearing breadcrumbs because this card does talk about breadcrumbs. You could have had to really, like, the moments where this person was matching your energy and giving to you, remember temperance, could have been so far and few in between, but it kept you hanging on. It kept you holding on to this connection because it was just enough to make you kind of feel like maybe there's hope here. It was just enough to keep you going back to this person, but it wasn't enough to be anything stable. And 44, if you are seeing a lot of fours are about protection. And then we have influence. So it feels like there were other influences involved with this. So this person could have been prioritizing alcohol. They could have been prioritizing addictions. They could have been prioritizing partying. They could have let other people influence. You know, if this person ghosted you, that could have been at the influence of someone in their life. Like maybe someone in their life told them, love's not supposed to be that complicated. Why don't you just stop talking to them? Even like influence of wounds. Like this person could have been being influenced by their wounds or their shadows. And with this influence card, it's really interesting because I just spoke about this type of energy keeps you coming back for more. It's like just enough. And sometimes I talk about it in terms of like a slot machine. So every now and again, you keep putting money into a slot machine. Every now and again, very spontaneously, you'll get a small win. And it's meant to keep you coming back for more. I'm hearing a song, but I can't figure out which one it is. That's what keeps me coming back. I don't know what song that is. And it can actually become addictive because you feel like, well, if I just keep putting money in the slot machine, eventually I'm going to win the jackpot. And then you also have this energy where you do become attached to it, codependently attached to it, addicted to it, because you have this idea that if I walk away now, what if the next person who sits down hits the jackpot? And think about that in terms of a relationship. If you are dealing with someone where there's, you know, inconsistency or an imbalance of energy, and maybe sometimes even like that waterproof, hurtful words or criticism, that's like slowly picking away at you, but sometimes they tell you they love you, sometimes they compliment you. It's like giving you just enough to stay, like to keep coming back for more. And it could have become like an energetic cycle that you actually became addicted to. And I don't mean that as anything, that there's anything wrong with you. That happens to lots of people. When I first started therapy, and my heart goes out to anybody who hasn't been able to find a good counselor. The counselor I found, she was actually into spiritual stuff, and I wasn't at the time, so she didn't talk about that type of stuff. But you know, I also hear horror stories in my comment section about counselors and therapists who are not great. But I was in a dynamic with like my mother where all she wanted to do was kind of argue with me. and I would argue back. And my therapist, you know, I kept saying to my therapist, like, I just keep anticipating the next time she's going to reach out to me and try and argue with me. I just keep wondering when the next time is going to be. And she said that when you get involved with negative energy like that, or when there is an argument like that, or when there's kind of this like inconsistent energy, it actually releases a hormone in your brain. I think it's cortisol. And you can actually become addicted to it. And it's not that you're, oh, I just want to fight. I can't wait until they reach out and like mistreat me so that I can feel that cortisol. No, it's not like that. But subconsciously, energetically, it becomes addictive. And that's sometimes why it's harder to walk away from situations like that. So I just wanted to mention it with that influence card. All right, so let me look at... This person could have also been distracting themselves because we have distraction on the bottom. They could have been distracting themselves, from doing the inner work with substances, with work, with like maybe you're connected to someone who's a workaholic. I spent many years ignoring my inner world by distracting myself with things outside of me, like cigarettes, like drinking, like cleaning my house, like being a workaholic, anything to avoid going within. 25. Another interesting thing is you could have been connected. This is a good one. You could have been connected to someone where you were picking up on some of their bad habits, or what I heard right away when I looked at what this card says. Oh, that's so interesting. Okay, so you could have been dealing with someone who picked up on bad habits or unhealthy patterns just like you maybe did from your childhood, from a parental figure. So I'll give an example. So let's say you could have grown up, and this is just an example, I'm not saying it's your situation, but you could have grown up watching your parents in a certain type of dynamic. And the one that I'm using as an example is just an example. It's not necessarily your story, but you could have grown up watching your parents, like one of your parents mistreat the other parent, whether it was breadcrumbing, whether it was hurtful words and arguments, whether it was some sort of manipulation. And you could have watched the parent who was at the other end of it, receiving all of it. You could have watched that parent just put up with it and never... Like, you could have watched that parent walk on eggshells. You could have watched that parent continuously stay in that marriage, never leaving that marriage, not wanting to get divorced, even though for the entire marriage they were accepting less than they deserved. So you could have been programmed by that, like witnessing your parent put up with less than they deserve and not walk away from something when it was clearly unstable or unhealthy. On the flip side, you could have been dealing with someone who inherited unhealthy patterns, just like kind of overgiving and people pleasing and staying in a situation where you're mistreated. That's an unhealthy pattern. Codependency, anxious attachment, unhealthy patterns that we need to heal. It's programmed into us. It's not actually our fault. Just like you could have been connected to someone with similar programming, but maybe they grew up watching a parent be very inconsistent with their partner. They could have grown up with a parent who manipulated them or said hurtful words to them or criticized them or made snarky comments at them. So they picked up on those. They were influenced by that programming, or even avoidance, right? Unhealthy attachments. So maybe avoidant tendencies or escapism or Do you get what I'm trying to say? And that's just like it's not your fault that you maybe became codependently attached to this or anxiously attached to this. It's not really their fault that, how can I say this? I think that sometimes, you know, the people on the other end, the avoidant people, have a harder, they're almost villainized more than the person who's codependently attached. Am I making sense? And I fell in this category. And but I see the perspective of both sides now that I've been healing that and I've been working on secure attachment styles. I don't think, I'm trying to be careful about what I say here because I don't want to invalidate your experience. I've only ever been on this end of the experience, and I know how painful it is to be anxiously attached or codependently attached or accepting less than you deserved or afraid to put up boundaries. You know, receiving snarky comments or someone draining your energy. I understand how hard that can be, but I think it's also hard for the person that was programmed into that. And again, I'm not trying to invalidate your experience, but they're both kind of unhealthy attachment styles. Obviously, like, I feel for you because I think that whoever you are, you weren't the one to like inflict pain here. Maybe your person inflicted pain. Was it intentional? I don't know if it was intentional. A lot of those behaviors come from programming and they come from a subconscious place. What is our responsibility is to go within and heal those things. And if we choose not to, then that is on us. Then it is our fault, kind of thing. It's not their fault that they were raised like that, but the responsibility lies on them and lies on us to go within and heal and self-evaluate with that judgment card and with hermit energy, and to heal it and to not pass it on to our children. So once this person, this is an interesting one, once you become self-aware about it and you choose not to heal it, then it becomes like Seven of Swords behavior, because you're aware of something that you need to heal, but you're running away from it. So then it becomes, you know, kind of on them. Like once they become aware of it or once someone points it out to them, it is on them to go within and heal. But really, my point is that it's nobody's fault that we were programmed to be this way. And that's what we grew, like if that's what we grew up seeing. Just like it's not your fault, and you shouldn't feel bad or like less of a person if you were scraping the bottom of the barrel. It doesn't make you desperate. It's not your fault. But there's another interesting aspect to this card, which is, I feel like right now there's separation, there's hanged man energy. And with that waterproof, you have raised your vibration. You have been healing. And now you know not to let others take from you. I actually got a coloring book yesterday, and there's a page in it that says, givers need to set limits because takers will not. And that is such a, like, I wish I had heard that a while ago, because takers don't set limits. They just take and take and take, and we just continue to give. So givers need to learn to stop over giving. But obviously, takers should learn how to stop taking so much as well. Let's be honest. But my point is that you're in that waterproof energy, right? New perspectives through the distance. And this influence card is also about watching someone give up those bad influences, watching someone heal those unhealthy patterns, and being influenced by them in a positive way. So it's not just negative influence, it's positive influence as well. And that's what we talk about with healing. You can't convince someone. I feel like this is your person because I'm like, ugh. You can't convince someone to heal. You can't talk them into it, just like you can't convince an alcoholic to give up drinking. It needs to be their decision. Yes, you can set up an intervention and threaten to take things away, and maybe out of desperation, they'll go to rehab. But in the end, it comes down to them making the decision to get clean and sober. Just like with healing, I can't convince you to heal. I can't convince anybody to heal, although my entire life I tried. I was always a little healer. Apparently, I was just asleep, unawakened. And the problem is that once you start to heal, once you start to raise your elevation, that's all you want for everybody that you love, because it's so rewarding. And a lot of the time when you heal, you lose people, because all of a sudden your light is shining, your vibration is raising, your frequency is raising, and it can threaten people who are stuck in their shadows. Your light can threaten their shadows and their wounds. And I talked about it yesterday in my reading, how when I started to heal, I started to outgrow relationships here, there, and everywhere. Like we weren't on the same level anymore. And it didn't matter if I told them that healing is great, you should try healing, it's really rewarding. It's something that person needs to decide to do. We can't convince anybody to heal, and we also can't fix anyone. But what we can do is influence them, not in like a manipulative way, but in healing ourselves. And that's why a lot of people will tell you, by healing yourself, you help to heal the world. You can't heal everyone. You can't convince people to heal, but you can heal yourself and inspire others. I like the word inspire more than influence. But your healing can influence others to heal, just like, I can think of when I quit drinking. I was aligned with people who were drinking. And when I quit drinking, they no longer wanted to hang out with me. And I kind of was like, being sober is great. Everyone should be doing it. But I couldn't convince them to quit drinking. What I could do was I could quit drinking. They would see a change in me and be inspired to quit themselves. That's why, although I didn't go very much to AA, well, I did go a lot in the beginning to AA, but that's why in AA, people sit around in a group and they share their stories about what it was like when they were drinking, how their life has changed since they stopped, what they struggle with, because it inspires others. Just like, working out. I have a friend, my best friend, Michelle, who works out every single day. And I always say, you're a beast. And she used to message me like, I'm at the gym, I'm lifting weights. And I'd be like, I'm sitting on my couch eating cookies. And over time, she inspired me to start working out. And then when I started working out and I started to change, the people around me were like, maybe I should start working out. Maybe I should start eating better. So my point is that you could have been influenced by someone in your life to start healing, or you could have been influenced by an unhealed parent to start healing. Like, you could have seen how unhealed they were. You could have been like, wow, this is the same dynamic between my mom and dad, or whatever. That could have influenced you to heal. But what I'm hearing is that you healing is influencing this person to want to heal. Because this card is also positive about like how this bird gave up smoking. Now all of a sudden this bird wants to give up smoking. Influenced to make, or inspired to make positive change. And especially if you have a connection with this person, a love connection, a family connection, a soul contract, where I'm hearing an undeniable bond for some reason, where you've raised your standards, you are now waterproof. You know your worth, and you will not go back to something like that. Remember that song? Then this person could be inspired to change so that they can have another chance with you, if that makes sense. Oh, all right. And distraction is actually 15, which is, it's interesting. There's a dog on there. Distraction is actually 15, which is devil energy. And that's what I meant about how I would distract myself from doing the inner work. I would distract myself from healing the need to heal by addictions. Even at one point, it was dogs. I was trying to fill, seriously, my cup was empty. Like I felt empty. I felt a void within me. And I would fill it with, there's a reason I have 4 children. It's technically not my fault. I wanted 2 children, but I had 2 sets of twins. But after that, before that, it was cats. I was like, well, I have all this love I have to give. I should have been giving it to myself, but I started collecting cats. Like, I don't mean I loved all of my cats, but I had 4 cats. There's nothing wrong with having 4 cats, by the way. After I had 4 kids, it was 4 dogs. Like, who has 4 dogs? And it was like I was filling a void within me. I was trying to fill up my own cup. I was unhealed, but I was distracting myself with other things like dogs. But anyway, let's get one more. I feel like you exposed this person's shadows. I just saw the exposed card. Yeah, we have sacred space and fear. And sore. Oh my gosh. So listen, I saw the exposed card. And that's what I mean. I feel like you exposed someone's shadows here. Remember how I said your light can trigger other people's shadows. But anyway, it did come out, but I wanted to mention it. I'm just going to put this one last card up here. 43. That is the energy of Emperor and Empress. And look at this beautiful card here with the nest and an Emperor and an Empress looking over this nest. And there's 4 eggs in it. How magical. Like seriously, 4 cats, 4 dogs, 4 kids. All right.
Oops, it's a little crooked.
I don't know why, but I'm sweating all of a sudden. Probably too much information for you. Are you sweating? Maybe your person is sweating. So look at this sacred space. So I don't know why I'm hearing this, but the love between, I just heard the love between the Emperor and the Empress is supposed to be a sacred place. Don't know where that download came from. But look over here. We have the same nest being thrown out of that tower. So it does feel like you were trying to build something here. I learned tarot through the Light Seers. And the Light Seers deck, the 4 of Swords, is actually a feminine in a nest. So I feel like you were kind of put into 4 of Swords energy. And sacred space, this card is actually about honoring your sacred space, honoring your energy, honoring the sacred space of your vessel, not letting people, remember that waterproof card. So not letting people who take from you or hurt you into that sacred space. Oh, there's also 4 feathers on that nest. There's also 4 leaves. So 444 protection. So you could be protecting your energy right now. But I feel like you can't build that sacred space. I'm hearing counterparts, but you can't build a sacred space like that when there's those unhealthy attachments and that instability. And I feel the potential is still there to build that sacred space. But look at this, we have fear and we have sore. So I feel like, look at the imagery here. I see numbers everywhere, but 18, divine feminine energy. It's also the energy of the moon. So there could be a lot of fear and uncertainty about if this connection can come back together. We also have soar, and we have this bird on this hat kind of looking at this bird soar. And I started this reading talking about how maybe you're raising your vibration. Maybe you're soaring right now, or you look like you're soaring. because I'm hearing the song Wind Beneath My Wings. But that's kind of what happens when you heal and when you don't let that lower vibrational energy get through to you anymore and you don't lower your standards. Again, that lower vibrational energy will try and pull you down because misery loves company. So anybody who's stuck in their shadows and ego wants company down there. Misery loves company. Part of the fact that we have divine feminine here, part of being a divine feminine is no longer allowing negative energy or toxic energy into your sacred space. And again, when we think about the devil card, usually on the devil card, there's chains, chaining that person down because it's lower vibrational energy, it's shadow, it's ego. So when we cut those chains and we do the healing, we soar, we elevate. Elevate, did I say that right? I felt like I said elevate. Anyway, maybe someone is named Ella. I don't know. So I feel like, I don't know, whoever you're connected to is looking at you, like just like you have a new perspective. Like I said with that song, I will never let you bring me down again. I feel like this person has a new perspective and they're watching you soar and it's kind of influencing them to make positive change. All right, so let's get into your tarot. I have cleansed this deck. I've shuffled it a lot. I've used it myself. Hi, Mr. Crow. We have just... He answered me. Hello. People think I'm strange, but I don't give a fuck. I walk outside and I'm like, hello to the crows. I don't even care. Call me crazy bird lady. I don't give a fuck. We have justice here. So someone could be getting their karmic justice. But this is about balance as well. Perhaps someone taking accountability. We have the Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. All right, so let's see what we need to know here. I don't even know where to begin. We have the Five of Pentacles. Someone feeling left out in the cold here. This person could have ghosted you, left you feeling rejected, and maybe that's when you healed a rejection wound. But also, like, someone feeling on the outside of your energy, or like you've left them out in the cold. You're soaring, you're healing. You're no longer scraping the bottom of the barrel. We have, yes, yes, yes. We have the Queen of Wands. So very confident, glow up energy, confident, knowing your worth. Oh yeah. Light triggering others, perhaps. Fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. Justice would be Libra. And we have the Three of Cups. Interesting. That is an energy of reunion or wanting to reunite, wanting to reconnect. It's also like you could be shining online right now. You could be attracting a lot of attention. You could be spending time with like-minded individuals. You could be making new friends or just posting, like if you still have friends that you haven't like energetically outgrown, you could be spending time with them. Or maybe, you know, you do notice that some friendships that aren't on your level are leaving your energy right now. All right, so let's have a look. I don't even know where to begin. We have the Ten of Wands. And that can be symbolic of baggage and burdens we carry from a very young age. That's how my therapist described it to me my very first session. You know, I've been in therapy before a few times in my life. And the way that I always experienced it is, well, let's start with your childhood. And we talk about one incident from childhood and then, you know, talk about that. And then next session, we dive into another one. When I met my last therapist, hello puppy, it was like the first session she would ask me about something and she's like, okay, what about when you were 14? Okay, what about when you were 17? And I'm like, whoa. I was like, are we just unloading all the baggage, unloading all the suitcases? And she said, of course. She's like, what's the point in carrying it around anymore? And that's when, energetically I talk about how when we carry resentments and unhealed things from our childhood or anger towards others, it's like carrying weights around. So imagine, one weight, that's not too bad. That's not too heavy. Pick up another bit of resentment and anger, that's not too heavy. But when you keep piling it on, that's a heavy load to carry around all the time. That's why when I talk about forgiveness, I say it's not about the other person, it's about us. It's about releasing that heaviness from our own soul. So to me, sometimes the 10 of Wands can talk about the baggage we carry from childhood. So you and this person could have been very weighed down with baggage. You could have also been dealing with someone who had a lot of responsibilities, who was overwhelmed. They could be feeling overwhelmed right now. And we do have the Magician, Gemini, and Virgo. 4 of Wands. Very interesting. So this could be, I feel like this could be a counterpart connection. We do have 1111 here. But I feel like your patterns and unhealthy attachments or whatever it was, both of you weighed this connection down. This connection became very heavy. The 2 of Wands can symbolize when you have to stop and look at the patterns that keep you stuck from moving forward. Listen to all the crows outside now. And we have these 2 crows, each holding a wand here, and then we have the World. So it feels like there was distance put between you so that you could both look at your unhealthy patterns and your baggage and the things that needed to heal so you could finally put these burdens down. So you could stop carrying them and you could be lighter. You could be manifesting a reunion here because we have the Magician and the 4 of Wands. So you could be manifesting union, but union, both of you need to put these burdens down. And think about the bottom of the deck here, right? We have this one soaring. As you release those burdens, you're soaring, you feel lighter. And we have this one still holding on, right? Anyway. It almost becomes like I'm hearing a comfort blanket. Like sometimes people, I'm not saying they carry around their burdens like a comfort blanket, but sometimes they get used to being in that energy and change is scary. Maybe this person had a fear of change. Maybe you had a fear that if you put these burdens down and left this connection, that would be the end. Anyway, let's have a look. Let's see your energy. No, let me think about this for a minute. No, let's look at your energy. I said it for a reason. Show me the viewer's current energy. And again, thank you, Anne, for this beautiful deck. Oh, beautiful. We have the 9 of Cups. That's beautiful. You are healing. And we have the 3 of Cups. So I feel like you are in, first of all, you could be focused on a hobby of some sort. The 3 of Cups does talk about a hobby, and that is so interesting. The 9 of Cups also talks about like a wish fulfillment, or, I'd even want to say what your heart desires to do, your soul purpose. I talked about coloring as well. So right now you could be focusing on things that, make you feel emotionally fulfilled, connections that make you feel emotionally fulfilled. You could be, like I said, maybe 9 can be an independent energy, so you might find that you're losing friends in your life right now or outgrowing relationships, and maybe you're spending more time focusing on hobbies or things you like to do. But this 9 of Cups, beautiful energy, because it shows you in like a very independent but fulfilling energy, like, you know, enjoying your own company is what I'm hearing. It's different than the Hermit. It's like you feel fulfilled in your own company, doing the things that you like to do, doing the things that make you feel balanced and fulfilled. I'm hearing hobbies for some of you. And for some of you, maybe you're making new friends, or like I said, maybe you have friends in your life that stood by you through your spiritual evolution. Not everybody loses their friends during spiritual evolution. We have the Knight of Cups, so you could be intuitively, now I'm hearing, Am I Ready to Be Loved by Lizzo. You could be, what was I about to say? You could be, the Knight of Cups follows their intuition no matter what, so you could be intuitively called to create something. Mission. Working on your mission. But the Knight of Cups, you could be in an energy where you are soaring, where you are happy and fulfilled within yourself, within your emotions. For some of you, maybe you are interested in, like, I'm not sure if you're already exploring other people, or maybe you're just thinking about getting out there and meeting new people, but it does feel like there is an energy of, like, how can I put this? Like that song, Am I Ready? So you could be wondering, am I ready to put myself out there for love? Am I ready to meet someone new? Am I ready to build something solid with someone now that I've healed? Now, I do feel a past person in your energy, specifically a counterpart energy, but you could be in this energy of acceptance that what is meant for you will not pass you by, and you could be feeling like you're ready for love, and it's not coming from a lonely place. It's not coming from a, oh, well, this person will never, like, it's not coming from a revengeful or resentful place, like, oh, this person will never wake up, so I might as well move on. It's more of a, like, a healed, fulfilled place of, you know, I've learned how to love myself. Am I ready to love someone else now, or receive reciprocal, balanced love from someone? And if that is you, then you'd be putting out that energy that you are ready for love. And maybe, you know, well, I just want to see, because I definitely feel someone in your energy here. Someone from your past. But anyway, let's get one more for you. Oh my gosh. Yes. 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 Fucking right. Empress. Yes. Oh my gosh. Love, love, love it. And you have 3s here. Love it. The Empress, divine feminine energy, nurturing yourself, giving to yourself, knowing your worth, attracting in, not chasing, not, you know, beautiful, beautiful energy. Tending to your own garden, right? Not letting heavy emotions take you down, allowing yourself to feel them, but not drown in them. Very grounded, divine feminine energy, no longer allowing lower vibrational energy into your sacred space or your garden. Love, love. I always get so proud when the Empress comes out for you guys. I'm like, yes. So you definitely could be working on some sort of hobby. And listen, you could be a divine feminine mission, but the Empress is also like whatever you put your energy into, you're in a very fertile energy right now. So be careful if you are, you know, be careful, use protection. But you are in a very fertile energy right now. Beautiful. Love it. I love, love, love it. Devil in reverse. Yes, healing unhealthy patterns. Capricorn energy, we have Taurus and Libra. Self-aware. Didn't I say the chains? Cutting the chains, and now you are soaring. The end of codependency, the end of addiction, the end of... Anyway, you get it. Self-aware, healing, beautiful. My friend. Proud of you. I don't know why I'm talking like that. Page of Pentacles, you could be being called to create something specifically around your mission. This also talks about, in some decks, it actually talks about magic. So you could be feeling called to create something like dabbling in magic, or not spells, but dabbling in like tarot or Reiki or, light work. I'm seeing light worker here. Beautiful. You could be cutting the cords of doubt about starting a creative business, a side job that could, bring you fulfillment. As I'm looking at the 10 of Pentacles, so whatever you're being called to create, or if you're being called to be an entrepreneur or start something, you are in very fertile energy. It looks like it's connected to a hobby or helping others, I'm hearing. But it could, no, I shouldn't even say it could. You are in this magical energy cutting the cords of doubt, and it will bring you financial stability, financial security, financial freedom. Generational wealth, so your children and your children's children to come. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful. Yes. I feel like I should have a foam finger that says, yay, that I can wave when I'm proud of you. All right. Apples could be symbolic. I'm going apple picking tomorrow. Let's see this person that I'm picking up on. Let's see their energy. What is their energy? This person that I'm feeling here around you. Okay. 10 of Wands. Makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. We have 8 of Swords, limiting beliefs, fear, overthinking, feeling trapped, maybe victim mentality, carrying around those burdens, carrying around victim mentality, feeling like, I feel like this could be someone who blames others, who blames their parents for their problems. I'm kind of seeing... There's a card from another deck that I have called Shifting the Blame. It's about personal growth, and I'm kind of seeing someone like that. So this person could be like a person who always kind of thinks they're the victim, so they could always blame everybody else. Like even in this situation, they could have blamed you. Limited beliefs here. So this person is lacking confidence, feeling very weighed down, feeling very overwhelmed, very burdened. But this is the energy that will break them into an awakening. So this is good. They're feeling, we have the World, so they're feeling at a distance from you. We have Taurus, Leo, Aquarius, Scorpio. Feeling weighed down and stuck in their patterns. And you are freeing yourself from your patterns. And 8 of Swords, I always hear this in my head when I look at the 8 of Swords. It's trauma that keeps you stuck. trauma patterns that keep you stuck, but that can be healed. And I feel like they're looking at you and you're influencing them to make positive change just by, even if they can't see you energetically. I'm feeling a soul contract here. Look at the red thread around this person. So I feel like this person, again, there's trauma here that weighs them down that they need to heal. And I feel like you are influencing them energetically or inspiring them to make positive change. Trapped in the mind right now. So if you are going about your day and then all of a sudden you feel trapped in your mind, take a second. Is it your energy you're feeling or is it theirs? Put your hand on your heart, ground yourself. Ask yourself, is this my energy? What do I have to feel trapped in my mind about? If the energy dissipates, probably not your energy. Let's see how you're feeling about them. I just heard fear of getting left behind. Not you, them. So how do you feel about them? We do have 9 of Swords. So, and we have 9 of Pentacles. Oh dear. You have so many 9s coming out, my friend, which is amazing. It talks about you nearing completion. It also is a very independent energy, but this is very telling to me. First, for this person, maybe you need a haircut. I just heard one of my kids say to their sibling, you need a haircut. Maybe you think your person needs a haircut. Maybe they're looking a little shaggy, you know, or a little rough. But the first thing I heard was you could feel like this person had a fear of giving up independence, because we have the 9 of Pentacles, which can be about fear of giving up independence. We also have the 9 of Swords, which is about fear and anxiety. So putting those two together, fear of giving up independence. We also have a cage here. So maybe this person didn't want to be trapped or tied down. I'm hearing Henry from Ever After, where he says, all I want is to be free from my gilded cage, or whatever he says. I can't remember the exact words. Maybe I need to watch it again for the 200th time. But he talks about like never wanting to be trapped in a cage, wanting to be free. Anyway, Henry could be symbolic. Nicole, Danielle could be symbolic. But anyway, the other thing I'm hearing is that I'm hearing a lot of breakup songs for some reason. But when you were with this person, it could have felt like this: sleepless nights, anxiety, overthinking, stress, arguments, you know, overactive mind. Did I mention anxiety? But now that you are independent and you are working on yourself and you are glowing up, you could feel like, I actually feel much better now without this person in my energy. And that doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't want them back, but you could feel right now like, you know what? I actually feel happier now than when I was in that situation with that person. And now I feel the 9 of Pentacles, you know, it's kind of an energy where you've worked on yourself and you know that what you need is within you. And it's also the energy of, I will not allow anybody to bring me back down. I won't allow someone who's gonna bring me back down from this, with this, into my energy. So you could be really feeling about this person, like looking back, new perspectives, that you were actually stressed out and you needed to heal. And now that you've healed, you feel much better. You could also feel like this person needs to heal, right? One of the meanings of the 9 of Swords does talk about like healing and recovery. And I feel like we have a wolf here. So your inner guidance could be telling you that you need to be independent from this person until they heal and transform. What are you? Death. Transformation. I do feel like this person brought a lot of anxiety. Let's get another one. And hang on, one more for how you feel. Yeah, we have the Seven of Wands. And another thing I'm hearing, the Nine of Swords can symbolize if I was to ever open my sacred space back up for that person, that includes your body, by the way, your sacred vessel, I'm hearing, we would need to have a healing conversation, because the Nine of Swords can also talk about a healing conversation that needs to happen. Now, we do have the Seven of Wands here, and the Seven of Wands, this is perfect. It is about boundaries. This person could have been very defensive. They could have been very defensive and protective of their shadows, of their wounding. So like I said, when you maybe exposed some of their shadows or triggered them, they could have become very defensive. This is also the energy, kind of what I was talking about, how when you raise your frequency, other people in lower vibrational energy will try to get to you. That's why boundaries are important. So you could have had to put up boundaries with this person here, Seven of Wands. So your boundaries could be up because of this Nine of Swords. There's also a card on the floor. We have Temperance. Definitely. So I do feel like you were very patient with this person. Maybe they were very defensive with you and you were very patient with them for a long time, right? Like that song said, maybe something, we saw the Death card, so maybe the version of this connection from the past came to an end, but you were still holding on. Temperance shows you're not in a rush to bring down these boundaries. Which means you know your worth. Waterproof, talked about, you will no longer allow someone to get at your self-worth. Really important. That's really powerful. And clearly you feel like this person needs to heal and find balance with the Temperance card, Sagittarius energy. This person could have also been giving you an imbalance of energy, which is the example I used for your parents, because Temperance can talk about an energetic imbalance. And maybe when you brought it up, they got defensive. All right. Let's see how they're feeling about you. I feel like you were patient with this person. Whoa. So we have Strength. This is hilarious because this is reminding me of that Waterproof card, where they feel like you are no longer allowing, look at this lion, like trying to bite this crow. You are no longer letting this person affect your energy. Now, Strength shows they feel a very strong bond with you. Look at the infinity symbol. So a connection that cannot be destroyed nor recreated, which always makes me think of counterparts. And if you know, you know. You always feel connected to them. You can't cut the cords. You can release some of the energetic cords for sure, but you can't cut them. I'm also hearing, like, I feel like this person feels like you triggered their shadows, or I said this yesterday, taming the inner beast, I'm hearing. This person feels a very strong bond with you, and they feel like you're standing in your inner strength right now. For some of you, they could be feeling like you cut cords with them. I don't know if they know what that means, but energetically, I'm hearing you've cut your losses. So for some of you, this person could be feeling, Five of Swords in reverse can also talk about cutting losses. And remember that song I heard in the very beginning of this reading. Anyway, the Five of Swords for how this person feels about you in this connection. The Five of Swords in reverse does show they want to make amends. It does show they want reconciliation. I also feel like this person is realizing, perhaps because of your inspiration, that they self-sabotaged this very strong connection coming from a place of ego. Like you could have bruised this person's ego. And Five of Swords can be those behaviors of self-sabotage that we learn in childhood. Boundaries. Look at that. Look at the boundaries protecting this bird here. So I do feel like they feel like you are standing in your inner strength and holding your boundaries. So you're not chasing. That's good. Bulletproof. Let's get another one. Now I'm hearing titanium. Why are there so many songs in this reading? Twin flames do connect through music, or counterparts can connect through music on a spiritual level. But what I mean by that is your souls could be communicating through music. So you could be hearing songs that make you think of them. Anyway, even I'm hearing your higher self. If you're hearing empowering songs right now, or you did in the past, because remember I said I was hearing breakup songs. So if all of a sudden you started hearing songs about empowering yourself, that could have been songs from your higher self. Anyway, Ace of Wands. So they are very attracted to you here. Inspired to take action. It reminds me of the crow sitting on the scarecrow. Oh my, we have the Hierophant for how they feel about you. Higher level of commitment. Marriage. So they could have even had a fear of commitment or a fear of being in a cage, fear of losing their independence. And this to me is such like a soul contract card. It's like a divinely guided soul contract where you kind of hold the key to each other's hearts. And you're meant to learn lessons from each other. Look at how these two crows are looking at each other. You could also be taking action towards being a spiritual mentor, mission. I can't help myself. One of us. I can't help myself. Star energy. So they know they need to heal if they're going to take action towards you. They feel like this is a fated connection, even if they don't label it that. Wow. All right, I want to know what I need to know about them, because I was feeling them so strongly here and there. What do I need to know about this person, Spirit? What do I need to know about this person right now? What do I need to know about this person right now? What do I need to know about this person right now? Okay. Okay. So interesting how those cards came out. This card that came out, this one, I shuffled the whole deck. It was the second last card in the deck and it came out. So it really wanted to come out. What do I need to know about this person right now? Two of Cups, Five of Wands. I feel like there could have been an imbalance of energy here, or a codependency that were creating blockages. Right now, this person, for what you need to know, I feel like this person wants to have a heart-to-heart conversation. You know what I'm going to say? An open and heartfelt conversation. But look at this. This really shows that. It shows two cups, energy being exchanged, and a heart. So this person really wants to have a heart-to-heart, but there's still blockages here. I feel like if this person came in for a heart-to-heart right now, they may still be acting from a place of ego and it would end in conflict. I also am hearing that this person is trying to avoid that conflict. They don't want to fight with you. Now I'm hearing make love, not war, which I think is from 28 Days, which is a movie with Sandra Bullock where she gives up drinking? Make love, not war. So this person is being blocked from communicating with you for a reason. One of those reasons could be they know that if they have a heart-to-heart with you right now, it's going to cause conflict. Judgment. So they're going through an awakening right now. So they need to go through this awakening. I think you've already been through your awakening, and on a lot of cards, not a lot, I don't know, on a couple of my decks, there's a feminine on the Judgment card, and it is a divine feminine who has the power to awaken others. So I feel like this person is going through an awakening. It's Judgment Day for them is what I'm hearing. And that could be what's blocking this communication right now. And when this heart-to-heart comes in, it's going to be your choice if you want this person back or not. Again, I don't really understand why people watch these readings because my readings are so long and so in-depth. I cannot imagine watching an hour-and-a-half reading for someone I have no interest in getting back with. But you do you. You can do whatever, you can watch whatever you want. Maybe you're just trying to learn tarot, right? I tend to teach as I go. But sometimes I wonder if a little bit of that is denial. But anyway, I'm not going to go into that right now. But it'll be your judgment call. When this heart-to-heart happens, it'll be your decision on if you take them back or not. We also have the Six of Swords. So I do feel there is potential for this to move into calmer waters after they have an awakening. I also feel like this person is doing a lot of self-evaluation on their own inner conflict. All right, let's see what is blocking this connection. Was this on the bottom? Yeah, that was on the bottom. Let's see what's blocking this. Blocking this connection, yeah. What's blocking this connection? What is currently blocking this connection? We have the Ten of Swords and the Wheel of Fortune. So it's out of your control right now. What's blocking this connection? Wounding, pain, painful ending. So on your side, you know, if you are energetically blocking this connection, it could be because you are still healing from the painful ending. Although Empress energy, you do seem open to whatever has to happen will happen. So I don't think that you're energetically closed off to this person if this really is your reading. I feel like you're open to what is supposed to happen will happen. But anyway, what is blocking this connection? The need to learn lessons. The need for these painful swords to come out. So this person could have really wounded you. They could be very wounded. There is some sort of karmic lesson that needs to be learned here because we have Wheel of Fortune on the bottom. The other thing that's blocking this connection, it's out of your control. It's in the universe's hands here with the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel once this person learns a karmic lesson, and remember, karmic lesson doesn't have to mean a karmic lover. It's a lesson that they need to be taught or karma that they need to receive in order to learn a lesson. So that could be something that's blocking this connection here. But it's in the hands of the divine here. It's in the hands of the universe. It's outside of your control. There's lessons that need to be learned before this can come in. And I feel like on your side too, I feel like you've learned some lessons here too. So let's see what their intentions are. Intentions. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Communication and the Lovers. So they do want to talk. Remember I said, what do I need to know about this person right now? They want to have a heart-to-heart conversation. But they don't want to fight with you. They don't want to make this worse. I feel like they almost don't want to bring you down. Like, I feel like they see you soaring. They see you looking happy. They're still, remember, Eight of Swords, they're still in victim mentality. So instead of like being resentful or angry towards you, they could be being angry and resentful towards themselves, which makes me a little sad. But they could be, you know, in that victim mentality of, I want to talk to them, but I'll just bring them down. They're doing great without me. I'll just ruin things. So their intentions are to communicate with you. The Lovers. Haven't seen the Emperor. We've seen the Empress and the Lovers and the Four of Wands, but not that Emperor. So I don't think they're in Emperor energy yet. It's like they're only going to communicate when they know they can add to your energy. Let's see what action they'll take in the future. Look at the similarities here. So it feels like right now there is a separation between you, because look at the imagery here. These two crows are not connected. So I feel like both of you are working on your sacred space. Here they're connected. Connected by the heart. Thank you, Anne, for these cards. I'm obsessed with them. All right. What action will they take in the future? Future action. Future action, Page of Wands and the Sun. So there's the action. It's inspired action. And think about it. Right now they're in Eight of Swords. Remember I said there's something red wrapped around them, keeping them stuck? Look at this. They've broken free from those limiting mindsets. They've healed that trauma. And then they take action towards you. Bringing in clarity. This is a healing, very healing energy. I'm gonna ask Spirit what needs to energetically happen so this action can come. What energetically needs to happen so this action can come? We have the High Priestess. So, and the Chariot, confirmation. So before this action will come, you both need to move into alignment. I often talk about Wheel of Fortune. So again, the universe is in control of this. There's adjustments that need to be made before this wheel can turn again. Some of it might have to do with you. Some of it might have to do, don't reach through the screen and slap me or anything. But as I was shuffling, I was thinking about your energy. You have the Three of Cups, which I talked about, hobbies. You had the Nine of Cups, which I talked about a little bit. And I was talking about the Page of Pentacles, which is like entrepreneur. And I kept talking about mission. And yes, sometimes I talk about mission. But in this reading, I kept mentioning your mission. And it could be that has something to do with it here. That you could have a mission as a light worker that is in your destiny here, which you need to align with. For this person, I feel like you already see through the veil. You know, and when I say that, I mean you see through ego, you see through trauma, you see through programming. But I don't think your person does yet. So I feel like there's some aspect of, with your person, they need, when the veil lifts, when they can see their own shadows, when they can see through their own programming, when they can see that their actions or their thoughts are coming from a place of fear, and when they can tap into their intuition, that's when the action will happen. Also, the Chariot. Oftentimes you see two animals pulling the chariot. What happens in these counterpart connections, one's a divine feminine, one's a divine masculine. And what happens is the divine feminine starts pulling ahead. So I don't know if you've ever ridden a carriage before, But you can imagine if the feminine starts pulling ahead, that chariot is going to go off course. If you start pulling ahead and this person starts digging their heels in and resisting, that chariot can't move forward. So there's something about you both being in alignment here. That's when the action will come. Like I said, for some of you, it could have to do with your mission to help this world. Like divine feminines do have a mission to help people heal, whatever that way is for you. The crow just confirmed it outside. Anyway, that's what I was hearing. I also, just like you can't convince someone to quit drinking or to heal, I can't convince you to do mission work. What I can do is show you or mention it, help you believe that it is possible. And like if you watch me do it, just this is my mission. And you see how, like, I don't even know what time it is right now. I don't know how long this reading is. I've completely lost track of time because this is what lights my soul on fire. It's, by the way, what I'm about to say is not about bragging. It's about showing through inspiration, like just like we were talking about here. This does not feel like a job to me. This is my mission. I'm happy to do it. So if you see me, you know, shining, or you think that I'm highly intuitive and magical and all of these things that all of you say to me all the time, you are so kind to me. Just know that what you're seeing in me is within you. What you admire in others is within you, wanting to get out of you. And just like maybe you're sitting there thinking, I'm hearing a few things. You could be thinking, I don't have a mission. I don't know, like, I could never do that. I used to be you. I used to sit there and think, I could never do that. Yes, yes, Mr. Crow agrees. I used to watch like really talented tarot readers and I would think, there's no way I'm ever going to be able to do that. You can. If you are someone who started your mission, but it's going very slowly right now, keep the faith, keep creating, keep going after your mission. Your people will find you. Your soul tribe will find you. Keep being authentic. Don't give up just because, you know, you're not going viral overnight or something like that. Just all you need to do is reach one person and you're doing your mission. Just think about it like that. Anyway, I'm going to stop now. I'm going to stop. Let's get some channeled messages from this person. I don't know why I just had to sigh. All right, what does this person want to say to you? Positive change. Look, you've made me want to be the best version of myself because you are soaring as the best version of yourself. Remember, the Emperor didn't come out. I am asserting the mastery of my higher self. Oh, they are reflecting during your time apart. That's good. Before I do anything, I hate when I try and get cards at the end and I mess everything up. So I'm just going to take these cards for the cover. There. All right. What does this person want to say to you? You were the only one to set boundaries with me. Everyone wants you. Fear and soar. Remember those cards? You are soaring and they are sitting in their fear. Everyone wants you, and Queen of Wands, Empress. I fear that you will find someone better than me before I am ready to be the person you deserve. That's very interesting. It's lighting a fire under their buttocks. I am tired of fighting this connection. The chemistry between us is unreal, and I am a moth to a flame when it comes to you. Lover's energy, like a moth to a flame. You were the only one to set boundaries with me. At first it upset me, but now I know you did it for my own good and for your own good. You, the viewer. I don't want to talk right now. Exactly. Remember what I needed to know. The Two of Cups and the Five of Wands. I need some time, some space, and blah, blah, blah. I need some space to think and process my thoughts. Also, just when I see the word process, I do think of neurodivergent people. Just know that just because you process something instantly doesn't mean somebody else does. You have my heart and make me feel whole. You are my one and only true love. Aww. So this is on the bottom. And think about their energy. 8 of Swords, 10 of Wands could definitely point towards a dark night of the soul. I am completely lost, broken, and searching for answers. I'm starting to wonder if they are going through a dark night of the soul. Because their energy was very dark night of the soul-ish. I believe that we will be together one day, and that helps me stay positive. Do you believe in us the way I do? I am planning a surprise for you. Get ready for the unexpected. So they are planning something here. I like this. You've changed me for the better. I am breaking generational curses, which makes me think of that High Priestess, seeing through the programming and moving towards you, the Chariot. That was exactly like that High Priestess Chariot message. I'm going to save that one for the cover now. Interesting. Maybe the surprise they're planning for you is to come in their higher self and surprise you by being healed, being the best version of themselves. I am tired of running from this connection. I miss you so much and need you by my side. And to me, these are like transformation cards. I believe we are meant to build an empire together, hand in hand. Power couple vibes, Emperor and Empress. What was that weird download I got about that Lovers card? Remember, what was it? I got a really weird download about it takes an Emperor and an Empress to... I said something weird that I never say. I can't remember what that was, but it's reminding me of that. Huh. I wish I could remember. Well, I'll just rewind the video and look. I've never said that before. It just came out of, like, it just straight download. Interesting. It takes an Emperor and an Empress to... I don't know. All right. So we have... I am scared to let you too close to me and for you to find out my secrets. So this person could have things that happened to them in the past that you don't even know about. Like, not good things. Like, I'm hearing trigger warning. This won't be for all of you. I just heard essay. Or physical. ABUSE. This person is in self-limiting beliefs. I can see it in these cards. I doubt this relationship because you are too good to be true. Are you real or is this just a mirage? So this could have been someone who did see you as too good to be true. You could have been everything they ever hoped for, and because of wounding, they pushed you away because it wasn't familiar. And when I say this, I'm specifically thinking of Aaron Doughty. Doughty, is that his name? He talked about how, I hear a blue jay outside. Boundaries. Oh, hello, another one. We hear you, little buddy. He wants his screen time. He wants his 5 minutes of fame in my tarot reading. Aaron Doughty did a really interesting video where he talked about, you know, all of his life, he wanted, I think he was talking about himself, he wanted a partner who was nurturing and kind and loving and empathic, because those are things he never had as a child growing up. And then once he met someone like that, he pushed them away because it wasn't familiar. And that familiar comes from the word familial, family. So what he was really, like, he was pushing it away because it was nothing like how he was treated by his mother as a child. Just wanted to point that out. Subconsciously. Not me subconsciously pointing it out. I mean, he pushed it away subconsciously from a place of being wounded. No one has ever made me want to change my behavior until I met you, the catalyst. Twin flame counterpart. I still cannot believe that out of everyone you want me. They've got you on this little pedestal, my friend. And, you know, it's nice that they admire you, but at the same time, I can see their lack of self-confidence right now when it comes to you. I was not ready for this type of connection. Exactly. I never met anyone like you and it scared me. You've left a permanent imprint on my heart. It's the Strength card. A bond that can never be recreated. All right, my friends. I don't know how long this reading is, but I feel like I've been talking for a while. So I'm going to go now. But as always, I am sending you lots of love and light. And if I have time tomorrow after my apple picking adventure, I will definitely do a reading. But until then, I love you. Goodbye.